Topping news this evening, managing the ongoing COVID-19 crisis, mitigating further economic fallout, and stimulating economic consumption are just a few of the components of the government's Resilient Bahamas budget plan, unveiled today by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest. He emphasized that, among other things, there will be no new taxes, and government is confident that the Bahamas will rebound from this pandemic, as Altaviz Munnings tells us tonight.
3, 2.
Public health spending has accounted for the largest COVID-19 related expenditure to date. Between last fiscal year and the current fiscal year, government allocated some $35.2 million in its current budget to the Ministry of Health to assist with the detection, treatment, and mitigation of COVID-19. $10.8 million has been earmarked to set up and manage quarantine facilities, expand existing healthcare facilities, purchase protective equipment and other medical supplies, and support the COVID-19 response in the Family Islands. Social support is another component of government's fiscal plan. 7,115 persons have benefited from government's expanded unemployment assistance program with the National Insurance Board to support self-employed persons who wouldn't ordinarily qualify for the unemployment benefit. $15.4 million of that initiative has already been paid out. Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, noted in the House of Assembly that government also funded a special extension of unemployment benefits for unemployed persons who had exhausted their standard NIB benefit. 28,478 persons benefited from this initiative, with payments totaling $37.9 million.
Under the regular unemployment benefit scheme, funded directly through NIB contributions, some 38,598 persons have applied to date. From its own resources, NIB has paid out some $93.3 million directly to those beneficiaries. Combined, these programs have supported approximately 43,200 persons and poured some $146.5 million into the domestic economy. As one senator would say, putting money on the ground. Regarding food support, the government was allocating approximately $1 million per week to the National Food Distribution Task Force, which to date has assisted some 110,000 persons. Beginning last week, the government increased this allocation to $1.3 million per week, given the increased demand for support. Data from the Department of Social Services indicates that to date, approximately $11.9 million has been disbursed through the task force to participating non-governmental organizations who have been working tirelessly to assist those in need.
Regarding employee retention, Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, revealed in his COVID-19 communication in Parliament Wednesday that some 80 businesses were approved under government's tax credit and referral program and received some $22.9 million, which has translated into saving some 9,004 jobs. Government will also maintain the employment of civil servants and persons working in state-owned enterprises, although a non-essential 20% expenditure cut has been levied across all ministries.
As of June 30th, the government disbursed $39 million, paid $39 million to SBDC, through the SBDC for its business continuity and other programs. Approximately 545 small businesses and entrepreneurs, aka Bahamians, benefited directly from the Small Business Development Center's COVID-19 Business Continuity Initiative. Collectively, these businesses represented 4,304 jobs, which were protected because businesses were able to use the proceeds to support their operations and to help meet payroll.
Minister Turnquest also indicated that although partial and complete lockdowns and curfews are effective in flattening the COVID-19 curve, as well as saving lives, he said early performance indicators for July and August show that the shutdown caused some deviation from revenue projections.
For the first 2 months of the fiscal year, total revenue came in at approximately 77% of the budget projection for the related period, largely reflecting the slowdown in economic activity in August as a result of the lockdown. As for expenditure, since June, we have seen the expected ramp up in spending related to unemployment support, food assistance, and other forms of emergency relief in line with budget expectations. The first 2 months of the current fiscal year also show that expenditure was slightly higher than anticipated.
130.
We are seeking external financing to cover our budgetary shortfalls and to support healthy external reserves. It is a strategy that is working. Notwithstanding the fact that we are 5 months plus into the near full shutdown of our primary export sector, the international tourism market, our reserves remain at a fairly healthy $2.1 billion, equal to 38 weeks of import cover and close to levels at the start of the pandemic. The position of the public treasury, as I said before, is secure. And the viability of the Bahamian dollar and the exchange regime remains robust.
After his communication inside the House of Assembly, Minister Turnquest held a press conference in the House's Majority Room to address fiscal activity to the end of October. Acting Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson listed the Finance Ministry's plan for a strong and robust reopening of the economy.
The government is supporting the tourism readiness plan and ensuring that all of the things that the tourism sector would need is in place, and ensuring that, again, monies are prioritized to ensure that that reopening is strong. The government has allocated $55 million, and the SBDC has already put together a government-approved business plan. A significant portion of that money will be tied into new grants and new loans for small businesses as they also emerge and the economy opens up, to ensure that they have the capital and they have the wherewithal to be able to be plugged in to the opened economy with as much ease as possible.
Finance officials also confirmed that last month, government accessed $248 million as a part of a $300 million bridge financing deal under the borrowing authority approved by Parliament with the current budget. Government will soon conclude a $200 million transaction with the Inter-American Development Bank and a $40 million facility with the Caribbean Development Bank. I'm Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.